This bitch, let me start the Q&A because there have been times where I forgot. Hello, hello. Yes, it is the fresh-faced, baby-faced Big Groove Wop. And I have a lot on my mind per usual. I also, like I said, I got a haircut, so you know what I'm saying. Feeling myself. But anyways, I have a lot on my mind today, per usual. Today I'm talking to men and young men, young boys becoming men. There's a thing that we talk about on social media with temptations and all these different things. And I'm here to talk about me, right? Like, I think we talk about things objectively. I'm here to make it a little bit more humanized and personal, where with men, we struggle with the concept of lust. And I think that, like, in one way, we can understand it like, oh, having a sex addiction is a bad thing. So let me not just be addicted to sex. Let me not have sex all the time and do it in this like super lustful way. Because I do think there is a way to have healthy sex, and then there's a way to have unhealthy sex, which is, very lustful and, in the sense that you can't really control. Um, but yeah, it's like, oh, if I'm not having a bunch of sex, then I'm good. I'm not like super lustful in that way and X, Y, and Z. But the reality is that there are still other ways in which we facilitate lust with porn, with masturbation, and even just how we are going about our daily lives, scrolling on social media, seeing a gym girly or whatever, or going to a grocery store, you know what I'm saying? Like, hella looking at a girl's ass, whatever. And here's the thing is that, like even like as men, sometimes we kind of like assume like, oh, they won't notice. Like this girl won't notice me like looking at her ass, or like won't notice me staring from across the fucking room or whatever. They notice. They know. A woman Women know when they're conventionally attractive or when they have certain attributes that are conventionally attractive and things like that. And so women know. Women are well aware of when there is something about them that men tend to lust over. So as men, we think like, oh, we're gonna be slick and we're gonna play it cool. They know what the fuck is going on. Women are not dumb. Women are very smart. Like they know when we're up to some shit. But I say that also to say like it's one thing to one just like not be creepy, but also it's another thing like I think that we as men, like I said, oftentimes like use lust in terms of like a coping mechanism or like something that is like an easy way in to intimacy or getting closeness or getting validation or attention or whatever. And these are things that everybody wants. But I think men, a lot of times we tend to put it in terms of lust. Like I remember I was talking to a friend a few years ago, and she was like talking about how she kind of manipulate, like she caught herself like that she was in this like unhealthy way of like using manipulation with men through like flirting. And I mean, not for nothing, she's like conventionally very attractive and very outgoing, like, physically attractive, but also like personality wise, like she's a lot of fun and all these different things. She's very intuitive, very intellectual, like, she's a great catch for the, all things considered. And she was like, yeah, it's not that like I don't think that I'm attractive, is just like because I know I'm attractive, I'm gonna utilize this as a tool because otherwise you wouldn't like me. Like if I just lead you on enough, if I flirt with you enough to get you here, because I know you'll like this, then I can keep you here. And this is what's gonna keep you here. This like cat and mouse game, this tug and pull kind of game to just like keep you invested in me without having to actually be emotionally open or available or have any type of like actual intimacy or things like that. And when I say intimacy, I don't mean just like physical or sexual. I also think like just opening up can be like an intimate thing. Um and I think that like I applaud her for like catching herself in that way, but I think men tend to do that a lot. Like we kind of, like I had a friend of mine. We were talking about attachment styles, right? Like anxious attachment, secure attachment, avoidant attachment. And I asked her if she knows her attachment style, and she was like, "Oh, I'm more like anxious attachment, anxious secure attachment." And she was like, "What's yours?" Probably avoidant, right? Like men tend to be avoidant, like da da da. And I'm like, no, mine's actually more anxious, secure attachment for sure. Like I'm actually not the most avoidant person. I'm very needy, like, and I voice my opinion. But that's the thing, though. Like I think in a lot of ways she is right. Like, and I think men, we tend to facilitate our avoidant attachment style. Like I said before, like in a way of just like facilitating this easier way of getting like sexual pleasure or attention or validation or whatever without actually having to be emotionally available for our partner or for to open up and things like that. And even with me, like I said, like I'm not here to just talk philosophically or conceptually. Like I think for me, I've been catching that a lot, right? Like there's been a lot of conversations. Again, it's the beginning of the year. I haven't seen some friends in some weeks or whatever. It was just a holiday, so we're catching up. And a homegirl of mine actually yesterday at brunch, she was like, "Hey, you got baptized maybe like 4 months ago. Has there been anything that's been coming up for you? Like, has the enemy been tempting you more? Because when you proclaim this journey, walking with God, walking for me with Christ, with Jesus Christ, like there's a bigger target on your back." And she was just asking like, how has that been showing up for you? And I always kind of tell people like it's not anything externally. It's not like women are just suddenly more attractive to me or I'm getting more attention from women or like any of these things. Like I've never had a problem with drugs. I've never had a problem with alcohol, thankfully. My the things that trip me up tends to be with women, with sex, with romance, with things like that, where I get very obsessive or I kind of like put my partner on a pedestal and in a very, very unhealthy way. But yeah, so looking at it like that, like I said, like for me, the temptations or the attacks on me haven't been anything external. It's only been things that have been coming up internally, right? Like thankfully for me, I had the privilege of I live in Los Angeles now, but I had the privilege of having like my church fly me to this big church conference which was part of every nation campus conference. It was about like bringing Christ to more college campuses around the world, not just in the United States, but around the world. But they flew me to Orlando, and I was there, and it was a privilege to be in such a enthusiastic place, right? Like enthusiasm is contagious. So when I'm in a place with other like-minded people that are very about Christ, like it also helps me to further my journey more encouraged, right? Coming back, my church was like, yeah, we're hopping right into a 5-day liquid fast, which I've never done before in my life. So hopping into that, just finished that, and now my church is on this 21-day detox, and spiritually, and I would say that they're very similar for me, right? Like the fasting, the detox, and just where I'm at in life right now, where I've been very much intentionally praying for God to reveal all truths and for God to detox the things that are not good for me out of my life, or things that maybe they were useful once upon a time, but they're no longer useful for this next chapter. And for me, the biggest thing that's been coming up is this lust. And I always, even personally, right? Like, I'm 30 years old, I'm sexually active man, all these different things. I was kind of had this feeling, like I kind of came to this conviction at the beginning of the year during the conference, the first 4 days, of the year, which was at the conference, and was like, okay, like my partner at the time was like, hey, I'm choosing to be celibate at least for the first 6 months, if not the whole year. And I kind of, she was like, hey, like, obviously, like, we're dating. So, like, this is a decision I made, but obviously I'm open to a conversation about it with you. And it kind of had me thinking too, where I'm like, well, I don't want to, the relationship was so new. I was like, I don't want to surface getting to know this person based on like our sexual chemistry. Like, I think that can cloud a lot of things. So I was like, yeah, that makes sense. Like, that's fine. We don't have to have sex. But even outside of that, I was like, well, I don't want to be celibate just for the sake of this other person. Like, I think I would also benefit a lot from being celibate, which, not for nothing, like, I've been slowing down sexually anyways, but I was like, no, let me make like an intentional decision. Like, I'm gonna be celibate this year. And that was one step. But today I went on this 10-mile run, which I'm a runner. Like, 10 miles isn't too crazy, but it is for sure a push. Like, I definitely have to like prepare myself when I do it. And like I said, it's day I think 2 or 3 of this 21-day detox, which my church sends me like guidance, different verses to kind of go over, and just different guidelines and things like that to read. And I kind of I kind of just knew, I'm like, going on this 10-mile run right now, this is gonna be a challenge, and I'm gonna be running for over an hour. So, uninterrupted time. It's early in the morning. There's no one that's gonna be out on the streets. Like, this is gonna be a spiritual journey too. And I just prayed, and I was like, God, please use this time during this run to reveal more truths to me, and may I detox whatever I need to detox. And I'm not gonna lie, during this transitional period with a former partner, like, we're still like cool and friends and stuff like that, but it was like, damn, does this person have to go? Like, do I have to get rid of this person or just rid this relationship? And it was like, no, actually, what I'm supposed to rid is the other things. Like I said, like, I think as men, we kind of be like, oh, I'm not having sex, so like I'm conquered my lust. But there's still porn that exists, and there's still like masturbation that exists, and there's still like this outlook of lust that we tend to like navigate with. And it was very clear that God wants me to stop with the porn and stop with the masturbation. And not for nothing, I don't want to share too much, obviously, but I've kind of like noticed that when I try to incorporate this like subtle way of like not ridding my lust out of a relationship, but not fully engaging with it, it does mess up my relationships. Like, looking back, I have messed up relationships with potential great partners because of my lust. Like, you know, obviously a relationship is two people. It's not just all me that messed it up. But looking back, I'm like, no, I think that like if I wasn't so obsessive with protecting my lust, being like, well, I'm a man and I have sexual needs and da 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 all this stuff, and like if I'm not getting what I want, like, instead of just being like that, it's like, okay, but you can still get intimacy with your partner without a sexual lust or something like that. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's honestly where I'm at. So now it's like a new journey of like, yeah, man, yo, like, fuck just celibacy. Like, still engaging in masturbation and porn and stuff like that really does give you still that outlook on people, on women, in a sexual manner. And like, that's not a safe space. Like, no one likes to just be put in a box um in that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, that just puts so much pressure on someone that didn't really ask for that. So I say that to say, again, like, I'm talking to the men, or people that are dating men, or young boys that are turning men. Like, I highly encourage you to take some time and review your relationship with lust, review your relationship with sex, review your relationship with masturbation and porn, and review the way in which you outlook on women throughout your day to day, whether it be on social media, seeing, gym mommies, or, Instagram models or whatever, or seeing a cute girl in a parking lot, or a girl with a fat ass at the gas station, or whatever. It's like, I just highly encourage us to be a little bit more mindful and to review, like, what are you actually looking for? Because I think it's one thing to be like a young, I mean, again, I'm 30 years old, like, my frontal lobe has been developed for a few years now. But I think it's one thing for, like, to be a young man and be like, oh, well, testosterone and, like, sexual pleasure. But it's another thing to actually get to a point where you're like, you do have to realize, like, this is a responsibility, and you could fuck up. Take it from me, bro. You could fuck up a lot of very valuable relationships. People that could be a great fucking value in your life as a friend, as a colleague, as a coworker, whatever. Um, just be careful and don't let that shit take over, because it can fuck up your relationships for real. I have fucked up relationships by not controlling my lust, and even now I'm praying that I didn't fuck up a very valuable relationship with a very valuable person in my life now from not controlling my lust recently. So that's my little rant. But now let's go into y'all's chat. I saw the chat was going up the whole time. I just needed to get my shit off before I go into the questions and stuff. All right, at the top, Just Be Chill. Yo, Groovester, what's up, bruv? What's happening? What's going on? What tribe are you from? I don't know what tribe I'm from. I'm from the city of Fontana, California, though, the IE. We can call that a tribe. We can call that a tribe. I'm not opening up any more of the um messages that have been getting flagged, because then I get a message from YouTube. They're like, yo, you've been opening up disturbing messages. Like, we're going to flag your shit. So I'm not going to do that. Let me see. You talking from experience? I am talking from experience. Very much so. Hello from Medi. I can't speak English so good. I'm listening you little. I think you're doing great. I appreciate that. Hi, where are you from? Yellow, where are you from? I am from Fontana, California, the Inland Empire, born in San Bernardino, California, near Riverside, California, in case anybody's heard of any of these places. It's about an hour and a half east of Los Angeles in Southern California. Sweden. I liked and subbed. I appreciate you. I'm glad that you're enjoying it. This message is self review. Let's see. I'm not gonna open any more of these. Mexican. Mostly Mexican. I am mostly Mexican. Both of my parents. I just happen to know my lineage deep. So my mom is partially French and my dad is partially Native American and African American. What's your profession? I am a musician. I am a rapper, producer, and songwriter. So obviously for myself, it's hip hop. I make hip hop music for myself. But when I produce and write Can y'all hear me now? No? Can you hear me? Yes? No? Yes? No? You hear me again? All right, cool. My fault, y'all. Damn, I was going on rants and shit. Fucking people fucking... Oh, YouTube live support. My bad, y'all. Let me go back. I got a fucking... Someone tried to FaceTime me, and I guess it cuts out the audio when someone tries to FaceTime me. My fault, y'all. Let me go back and read more of y'all's messages. I'm so sorry. Well, I think I don't know where the fuck it cut off. My bad, y'all. Jesus loves you. I agree. Does Who play music like this too? I don't know what you're trying to say there. He plays silence as music. No, I don't. Where are you from? I'm from Fontana, California. Born in San Bernardino, California. Next to Riverside, California, in case anybody's heard of that. Any of those. It's about an hour and a half east of Los Angeles in Southern California. Good. We ain't want to hear it. You right, Terrell. My fault. But no, that's what I was saying. Watson. I saw someone say that they're from Watsonville, California, and I used to live in Oakland. I used to live off Bancroft and 55th, and then I lived in Fruitvale, off Fruitvale and Foothill in East Oakland. And we used to go to Watsonville because they have good basketball runs there. So, what instrument you play? I rap, so my voice. But I also produce, so I play keys a little bit, bass a little bit, lead guitar a little bit. But growing up, I played clarinet. So that was like my main thing. Did I play anything else? Drums a little bit. What else? I think that's it. But I rap and I produce. Yes, what a coincidence. I'm from India, and you? I'm from Fontana, California. Do you like yoga? Yes, or I do yoga as recovery. I don't think I've ever been to like a yoga class, like a workout one, but I'm open to it for sure. Me also. Yeah. Let me see. Let me go back up because the fucking audio cut out like y'all said. So I want to see. I want to make sure I answered everything before then. We got to the Watsonville. Someone said you look like Billy. I don't know what that is. Oh, and then someone said about Stranger Things. No, I've not seen Stranger Things. I'm actually not the biggest TV series watcher. Yeah, I'm not the biggest TV series, but I have a lot of friends that actually worked on the sets for Stranger Things, and they said great things. So, and I heard it's a great program. So, shout out to Stranger Things. Which state? I am from California. Who is your favorite singer? All right, let's talk about it. Because, like I said, I'm a producer and songwriter as well. I tend to produce for R&B and pop artists because I love R&B and pop. Even though I'm a rapper and I love hip hop as well. My favorite singer is Jasmine Sullivan. And I'm saying this now. Jasmine Sullivan is the most underrated singer of all time. She is a top 5 vocalist of all time. Whitney Houston is number 1. But Jasmine Sullivan, flawless. Beat selection, flawless. Songwriting, flawless. Topics that she picks to talk about, concepts, flawless. Vocal range, amazing. Her raspy shit, like, Excuse Me. If y'all haven't heard her song, Excuse Me by Jasmine Sullivan. Top tier. I'm going to get fucking married to that song. So, yeah, I would say Jasmine Sullivan for sure. Can I teach you a couple exercises today? Sure. It's cool when a rapper can shred on the guitar and add guitar licks over his rap bars. I wouldn't say I could shred on guitar. I play very simple notes. But I agree. I love when guitar is implemented into rap music. Are you here? Are you talk? I don't know what that means. Sup, everyone? Sending peace and blessings. All is well. Hope everyone heal from things they don't talk about. Amen. Black Mask Soul 491. Amen. Hey, Groovy. Can we see your arch? That's crazy. Can I teach you how to do a cobra pose? Yeah. I mean, I'm sure maybe you should be doing your own lives and doing yoga. Dude, you look tried. I'm assuming you mean tired. And yes, I'm always tired. Also, but here's the thing. So my left eye, both my eyes really, but my left eye gets very red because I have very sensitive eyes. And it's a condition that does not have a name yet. But essentially my eyes just get they just get tired from everything. They get fatigued. There's oil glands, which is what keeps our eyes like moisturized. So my oil glands don't work the same way everybody else's does. My eyes are sensitive to light, which is why I don't have any of the big lights on in my room. I only have like sunlight from the window. It's sensitive to like direct beams of sunlight. Like, yeah. So like I take fucking steroid eye drops in my eyes and shit like that, but mostly my left one is like the worst one. Let me see. Your eyes is very beautiful, bro. Thank you. I never slept in 6 days. You should definitely sleep. The hair got me triggered. Pregnancy? What about my hair got you triggered? And no, I'm not pregnant. And no one around me is pregnant. No one I've engaged with is pregnant. Let's put it that way. It's because of watching too much reels. You should go to sleep. Did your family approve of / recognize your LGBTQ lifestyle? I wouldn't say I live an LGBTQ lifestyle, but if I did, my family's pretty open. There are people in the LGBTQ plus community in my family, so they seem pretty chill. You off the beans with the kush? I am not off the beans with the kush. But all right, y'all. I think that's all the time I got. It's about to be 30 minutes, so yeah. My name is Groovy at GROOVYIE. I'm a rapper, producer, and songwriter from Fontana, California. I have an album coming out March 12th. We actually start rollout at the end of this year. So if you're in California, you should come to Los Angeles March 13th for the album release show. It's going to be at a beautiful venue called the Airliner. It's 150 seaters, so it's very chill, very intentional performance. We have the band, we have installations with merch and photo booths and all these different decorations that are centered around the album. So if you're in California, or if you're not, you should still fucking fly to LA. March 13th for the album release show. We have 2 openers before I go on and headline, of course. So yeah, we start rollout towards the end of this month. So there's gonna be a lot more content about the new album. You know what I'm saying? You'll get snippets in the new album. You'll be able to hear a little bit of what's going on with that. Um, Along with that, follow me on Spotify. And all these things are the same tag at Groovy, GROOVYIE. It's the same exact way you spell my YouTube. But follow me on Spotify because when we put out the tour dates, you'll be the first ones to get it when you follow. When we drop the merch, you'll be the first ones to get it when you follow. When we drop singles, you'll be the first ones to get it when you follow. When we drop the album, you'll be the first ones to get it when you follow. So go ahead and follow on Spotify to stay up to date with all that type of stuff. Hit me up on Instagram and TikTok. Again, it's the same exact way in which you spell my YouTube channel. I do answer all my DMs. So yeah, man. At Groovy. GROOVYIE. GROOVYIE. I appreciate y'all. Let me read these last messages before I dip. You need sleep. I sleep actually pretty decent. I just need to take my fucking eye drops. Your tattooed is leopard print. It's jaguar print, actually. Are you gay? I'm not. Good night, dear. Good night. It's very cold here where I live. I'm sorry. Can you play Hollywood Action by Boy Next Door? No, but I live near Hollywood, which is very funny. Damn, shorty, how you doing? Looking fine as wine. Thank you. I'm doing all right. All right, y'all. Hit me up on Instagram and TikTok. Go ahead and subscribe to this channel if you have not. I go live every day, sometimes multiple times a day. Or I try to go live every day. And I try to do it multiple times a day. So, yeah, go ahead and subscribe so we can deepen our relationship and you can come along this new journey, this new chapter in my life. I love y'all.